USA collapse will be far worse than you think. Ray Dalio. I was a global macro investor betting on the world's going to go, and on August 15, 1971, Nixon announced that the US would not get gold, leading to a default on the stock market. I researched it and found that on March 5, 1933, Roosevelt announced that they were not going to get the gold and that they would go off that and print a lot of money. I was able to anticipate the 2008 financial crisis and made money in it. Inflation and internal conflict in the US are leading to a form of civil war where populism is one side in a battle with the other side that won't accept losing. This is threatening the rule of law and adherence to the Constitution, and it is possible that people with different views will go to different places. There are 5 types of wars: battle, trade war, technology war, geopolitical influence war, capital war, and military war. There is only one way to do well, and that is to be strong in all those ways. The author is very bipartisan and believes in the opposite of the polarity of the left to the right. He also believes that the capital system creates differences in wealth over time and that people with great ideas come along and produce great things, but as they obtain greater wealth they also obtain greater benefits. The most important details in this text are that people are holding a lot of money in debt instruments, which can be money, market funds, or bond funds. This is due to the inflation pressure of the past 40 years, which has caused people to think that cash is the safest place to store their money. To satisfy both debtors and creditors, it is difficult to tax through the printing of money, so people sell it, and the amount of selling is not just the deficit, but also the change in behavior. The most important idea is that success is more in knowing how to deal with what you don't know than anything you know, and that the theory prior to World War II was that people would marry each other to make it safer. The most important details in this text are that the NATO countries and Russia are in a type of war, and that the US has brought out sanctions to make it more difficult for them to get oil. The author has been going to China since 1984 for interest, and has been able to learn about the financial markets and the leaders there, as well as the poor people. He believes that the UK-NATO war is similar to World War II, and that there are 3 big questions that need to be answered. The most important details in this text are the power of sanctions, how the sides line up west and east, and how the world has changed to a new dynamic in which ideologies rule, fight and rule for. These changes have a bigger effect on our lives than the Supreme Court's decisions. The most important details in this text are that nationalism is becoming increasingly prevalent in the United States due to the need for self-sufficiency and the need to fight for what one believes. It is argued that if we could just be good with each other and not fight, we could have a bipartisan cabinet and calm down the extremists who are fighting. 30% of the population is extreme right by measures such as there's a range of things, such as the percentage of Republicans or Democrats who think that members of the other party should die at 15 and 10, or the percentage of those who would not want their child to marry the member of the opposing party, or who think the election was stolen. Capitalism needs to be adjusted to achieve broad-based prosperity and opportunity, but the right and left don't know how to divide the pie. To do this, an investment in good education should be made, with an acceptable bottom, and the police should assure safe passage. The most important idea is that if the United States educates its people and provides equal opportunity, the system will work better. Capitalism is a great system, but when it produces inequalities of opportunity and productivity, it is not enough. Success has to do with how people handle what they don't know, rather than what they do know, and how they get it from other people is the most important thing. It is not like one guy sitting there knowing it all and dictating how it should go. Everyone makes mistakes and everyone has weaknesses. Knowing how to deal with that is key. The most important details in this text are the lessons learned from the experience of having to take care of family bills. These lessons taught the author to find the smartest people they could find, to listen to their points of view, to be open-minded, and to diversify risks without reducing returns. The author also learned that if they can cross a dangerous jungle, they can have a wonderful life. The most important idea is that habit and reflection can lead to progress, and that if one solves the puzzle of how reality works and how to deal with it better in the future, they will get a gem. This is especially true for those who have experienced painful experiences, such as the loss of a son.